Today I fucked up by using the nuclear option in a game of Monopoly. It was a 4-player family game of Monopoly. My brother, our parents and I were playing, and I wasn't doing well. I wasn't bankrupt or heavily mortgaged yet, but I could tell that if something drastic didn't change in the next 3 turns or so, I was toast. I didn't have any monopolies, but I did have a couple 2 out of 3 properties, New York and St. James being the standouts, and a couple scattered here or there. My brother was the clear favorite at this point, with my dad in clear second. My mom was losing right along with me. It was my turn, and I was trying to arrange a favorable trade. I'm negotiating with my dad. I have a property that'll give him another monopoly, he has a card that'll give me a monopoly. We both have enough money and side properties to even things up afterward. With a good trade here, we'd both have a higher chance of winning, significantly cutting into on my brother's lead. Seems like it should be a slam dunk, right? But no, my dad is pushing for the most ridiculous trades possible, and outright refusing to trade away those properties that are most valuable to me. If I don't get a monopoly out of this, I might as well not even bother with a trade. I'm getting frustrated as the negotiating stalls. But I get an idea. A terrible, terrible idea. I say to my dad, Dad, I'm clearly in the weaker position here. But right now, that just means I have less to lose. So here's the deal. If I don't get a trade from you that gives me a monopoly, I'm going to sell all of my properties to brother's name for $1. Dad didn't like that at all, and there was no trade. He also probably didn't expect me to carry through, but immediately after, I sold all my deeds to my brother for $1, and my dad lost any chance whatsoever of winning the game. Dad isn't speaking to me right now. Was that a supremely dickish move to play? Yup. I'm feeling a little vindicated, though, for not letting myself be pushed around when I was the little guy. But will anyone ever want to play Monopoly with me again? I kinda doubt it. Too long didn't read, was losing at Family Monopoly, went mad and made Dad mad. Family board games won't ever be the same. Edit, nothing's deleted. That is, I never tried to delete anything, but I'm getting messages that it's deleted. What's going on? Edit 2, AutoMod had removed it, but the mod undeleted it after I messaged them. Thank you mod. Also, did I just win the internet? What? What you should have done was sold everything to your mom for $1 and enjoyed the house and them being busy for the next 3 hours now that you turned the weakest player into the strongest, adding significant length to the game. Removed. Knowing houses have a finite limit, I like to slumlord it and buy all the cheap stuff and put houses on them, for a pop, but don't convert to hotels. Then no one else can get their income going. Deleted. My mother-in-law challenged me to a game of Monopoly for months, and we finally sat down one night to play. After a couple hours, I had 4 houses on several properties. There were no more physical houses when she went to buy some more. She did the classic "this house represents a house on each property" move. Told her she couldn't. She said she could. I pulled out the rules that clearly state there's a finite number of houses. Then I reminded her that we agreed at the beginning to settle all disputes by the exact rules in the box, unless a house rule was agreed upon at the beginning. I reiterated that there were no more houses, unless she wanted to buy them from me. She realized I had set her up for this, quit, went to bed irate, and has never brought up Monopoly again. I thought nuclear option was flip the table. People always get mad at me if I table flip when things aren't going well. They say that's not very adult, or that was a massive overreaction, or god damn it, mistakes happen. But you can't do that, you're a surgeon. Monopoly is a home wrecker. Few years ago there was a huge cyclone come over and shut our town down for a while. Repairs were done. No power for 3 weeks and no water for 9 days. There were 9 of us 20 to 35-year-olds, living in a share house. Now with no flushing toilets or tap water, or windows and walls without holes, some of the roof came down. The only time there were tensions were playing Monopoly. Today I fucked up by not looking closely enough at my new dog's doo-doo. This is the most horrifyingly disgusting thing that has ever happened to me. Fair warning. Last week, I adopted my first dog. His name is Franklin Beans and he is the absolute shit. Apparently his last owner was the human equivalent of a wet sandwich without any condiments on it. My dude was not in great shape when the fosters got him a few weeks ago. Since coming home, Frankie B has been a real treat though. He has, unfortunately, had some nervous shit. I took this as further proof that Franklin and I were meant to be. My butthole is also afraid of working in new places. Yesterday morning, I woke up in bed with my partner and Beans. My alarm goes off around 6 and I wake up to start another glorious day of teaching first graders online. Yes, I have recently developed a drinking problem. As I'm fixing my tea in the kitchen, I hear a tiny dog fart. Franklin Beans is taking a shit in my living room. Oh rats. This seems like a slide backwards in the progress we made this week. Whatever. I go grab a baggie to remove the dookie from my boat. Today I fucked up original hardwood floors and see that there are worms on it. Little flat white 1/4 inch moving goddamn worms. I freak the fuck out quietly because my partner is still sleeping. As I'm cleaning this up, I remember a Reddit post about a cat with worms and rush to my bed to find just what I suspected, hundreds of tiny little dead dried up worms. I unsuccessfully do my best to coax my partner to the couch without scaring him. Take Franklin outside to let him get the evil out of him. He immediately starts shitting again. But wait, that doesn't even look like poop. It looks like more and bigger worms. Dear God. Poor Franken is now dragging his tiny little snake hole across the cement, desperately trying to get these fuckers to unlatch. It was breaking my heart, so I tried to use the plastic bag I carry for his booty presents to pull the stowaway from his tunnel. Guys, this worm was at least 6 inches long. It was horrifying. On our walk around the block, this happens about 10 more times. By the time we reach my apartment, I'm honestly impressed that I haven't fainted or screamed or thrown the whole dog out into a neighbor's bin. I get back to my apartment and the poor little dude is still scooting all over those boat. Today I fucked up the wood floors I mentioned previously. I call up the vet and start describing the nightmare that I am living, because at this point I'm pretty sure my dog is just a big cute bag of worms. While pacing around, I step in something watery. I reluctantly look down to see what appears to be a writhing fistful of ramen noodles in a puddle of strawberry jam. I lose my absolute shit and let out a blood-curdling scream. This only frightens poor little Beans into releasing more worms from his bowels. I cancel my first live lesson and rush this spaghetti maker over to the vet for a drop-off appointment, so I can get home and teach those tiny little psychopaths about verbs and shit. Around lunchtime they call me to diagnose him as having a literal butt-ton of tapeworms. We talk care and recovery and I, still, am feeling slightly proud of myself for being as calm as I am. I hang up the call and return to my students, who are finishing up with lunch. As I log into the Teams meeting, I see one of my students eating the worst possible food for this day, a fucking cup of noodles. I can no longer handle this situation. In a shameful display of squeamishness, I proceed to vom all over my couch. On camera, in front of students and parents, children are shrieking. I'm shrieking. I have no idea how I'm going to explain this on Monday. Too long didn't read, unknowingly got myself a pup of noodles and lost my lunch over a cup of noodles. I am so sorry this happened to your poor puppa, but I definitely got a giggle out of reading this. He's feeling much better and the urge to dunk him in bleach is slowly dissipating. Thank you for ruining my delightful spaghetti dinner, Mr. Franklin Beans, with your plethora of ass wigglers. Potty training dogs is a whole new can of worms apparently. I think I saw Kevin Bacon riding one of those fuckers on its way out of his bum. You have no idea. Let us know if your dog suddenly becomes less intelligent. Then we'll know if it came from a gas station egg salad sandwich or not. This whole thing is just incredible. Your resilience is absolutely noted. Sudden onset of food poisoning is the excuse I'd go with. Hope Franklin feels better soon. I mean, that's why Op had to cancel the first class, right? Then tried and got sick, right? Also, if Op is a woman, all the parents will assume she is pregnant and give her a pass. Today I fucked up by hooking my girlfriend up with a job at a company I work for. Happened years ago, but I was told to post this here. My girlfriend, at the time, and I were dating for just shy of 6 years. We were high school sweethearts and still in school. She had always struggled with jobs and keeping them, and since we lived together, I usually had to pick up the slack. I was working as an assistant manager at a video game retail store at the time, probably not hard to figure out which one. It was honestly an easy job as long as you gave little effort. Pre-orders here, couple warranty cells there. As my girlfriend loved video games more than I did, I had the brilliant idea to get her a job. She's an attractive girl while 80% of our customers were neckbeards who hardly get to interact with women. Should be easy for her to make sales. There's no way she can fuck this up, I said, confidently to myself. There is a policy as of most companies that people in relationships can't work at the same location. No problem. We have 12 stores in our district that are within a 5-mile radius. They seriously put these stores on every other block. I do a little digging and hook her up at a neighboring store that had a vacant position. She would also be working with the head store manager of the district, indirectly one of my bosses. Few weeks in, and it's going great. What took me about a year to get moved up she does in weeks. I'm not a self-conscious person, so I didn't care. Plus she could help pick up her half of the bills. Here's where I started to realize TIFU. Girlfriend comes driving in with a brand new car. Considering we were living paycheck to paycheck, I was pretty upset. I asked her where she got the car from and she told me I've been saving up. Bullshit, but okay. I loved her, so as long as she's happy, I'm happy. Next comes in with write-ups. I started getting write-ups and customer complaints left and right. I'm a very good employee and I very rarely make anyone upset. I couldn't even find where these customers were coming from. Even though my performance was the best out of most employees, I was starting to fear for my job. As to be predicted, I ended up getting fired. I tried to fight it, but I live in Texas, and the rules are that companies can fire anyone at any time for any reason. I'm absolutely crushed. I turned to my girlfriend for emotional support to find her extremely distant. She dumped me days later, double whammy. I loved her for 6 years. She told me she felt this way for a while. Things are the same. I'm absolutely heartbroken. I'm angry, depressed, jobless. Felt like my life got flipped upside down. 1 week later her Facebook status put her in a relationship with her boss. My boss. Not sure when it happened, but he bought her a car, and then got me fired. Turns out all the customer complaints about me originated from that store somehow. Total BS. I set her up to absolutely FCK me over and to bone my boss. TL, doctor, I got my girlfriend a job only for her to FCK my boss and to get me fired. I'm still a little sad about it, but it is what it is. Edit. Perhaps the biggest FU is the fact I didn't sue. I was such an emotional wreck from everything, it didn't even cross my mind. But I'm doing pretty well for myself now, and whatever money I'd get wouldn't be worth bringing her to court for. Just the thought of seeing her sends chills down my spine. Update: a couple of you guys were wondering, but they dated a few months and broke it off. Neither of them work for the company anymore. A little detail I forgot to mention, that when she came to take her stuff from our place, he was helping carry the stuff to her car. That was probably the most gut-wrenching moment for me. Both of them are boss. Second update: I really appreciate all the positive feedback. I've been mostly over it, but the love really helps. Some of you guys are asking where she is now. She's doing alright. She's engaged to one of my old high school friends, also slightly suspicious. Still driving that same car, too, from the looks of it. I'm doing pretty well for myself, and if there's any happy ending to this, is that I'm genuinely happier than I've ever been in my life. Third and probable final update: again, I really appreciate the positive messages. Reliving and retelling the story made me angry and I missed a few details. I can't prove that he bought her a car, but I was pretty aware of her finances, and she couldn't afford a new car without significant help. It wasn't a fancy car, it was a new Prius that was worth about $18,000, in addition to trading in her old car. And the rumor around the block was that he did in fact help her. I was not a perfect boyfriend, I got upset at silly things, I could have been more attentive, but I never raised my voice, and I was very loyal. The course of when she got promoted to when she got the car was roughly 3 or 4 months. The separation and firing happened about 2 months after that. I didn't clarify that detail. The boss was a DM in training, recently got promoted, and the kind of guy that would spend money to impress a girl. You dodged a bullet. That fucking bitch was gonna leave you once she found the rich guy. Just be glad she did before you married her. Her life is going to be terrible, miserable and full of absurd drama. You're lucky to be out of it. Rich, that guy was probably making 70k and that car wasn't fresh off the lot. Fuck, now I'm sad. Edit, for those asking why sad, I appreciate that Op is doing better now and I'm happy for him, truly. I wrote the original comment prior to edits detailing his happiness and moving on. Not only that though, going through something similar to his story, I'm sure the moment of impact was awful and the suffering was intense at the time. Still, I'm glad things have gotten better. She sounds crazy, better it happened now than later. When you are married and she tries to take half your stuff. If you lawyer up to sue for unfair dismissal, they'll settle and you'll get a payout. The boss will get a serious black eye. I may or may not have been able to sue, but honestly I found another job days later, and I was an emotional wreck. I think going through court probably would have driven me into a deeper pit than I already was. Hindsight is 2020, I dodged a bullet and I'm thankful for it. Damn, like she couldn't just leave you? For what reason did that guy have to get you fired first? I can't imagine how you were feeling after that. She probably got his old job since she couldn't suck her boss's dick and work at the same location as him.